I get a presentation deck and I put big words or cues, and then I play around with it. And I kind of think through, okay, how might I start talking about that word? And how does that word connect to this word?
Now this lesson is about performance, not pitch decks. But if you feel like you want a pitch deck and you don't have one, here's a format you can use.
High level, you want to lay out what the problem is quickly. You don't want to spend a lot of time on that problem. You want to orient it, people understand it, they get it, they're pretty smart already. Don't lay out a whole bunch of statistics. Probably solving a whole bunch of other downstream effects, but what is the biggest problem you're solving? Start there. Then from that, talk about what you do specifically. Then from there, how it works, so the pieces of the puzzle. We do X and Y to deliver this. If you want something to be replicated at high scale, it's probably got to be pretty simple. And so the more steps there are in that process, the more complicated it's going to be to actually deliver, and it's going to be very complicated to actually communicate. I want to know a little bit about what level you're delivering at. So how many people are you serving? In what places? How much does it cost? So again, think about how you can bucket that together in 3 points. You want to give some impact numbers. What are the results you're seeing? They might be really initial results, but they have to lend confidence that your hypothesis about this big idea working to solve this big problem is actually getting some traction. You might be starting a really small social enterprise in Zambia, and you might just have 100 farmers that have signed up for new inputs. Or you might just have 10 new patients going to your brand new clinic and you're testing out a new model. So how do you give confidence at those early stage numbers that you can actually deliver at this scale?
So showing what traction you've got and how that leads to that big, bold vision can frame how you want your audience to be involved or what they can do next to help.
And so everyone's eyes goes to that slide and they're reading and they're not looking at you anymore. And so they're totally distracted. So I think you need to cut down the words on the slide. They're not your notes.
So remember the rule, 1 idea per slide.
I think make fonts big and be deliberate about color choice. You shouldn't have more than 3 colors on a slide because it's just crazy.
And support that one idea clearly, a singular graph that explains what you're doing, or a full frame image, or a quote.
Use images that will help your story. Those should be high quality. Usually full frame works better rather than having a bunch of small things that you have to sort of interpret.
So instead of cramming a bunch of pictures into some weird family collage, do 1 picture per frame, 4 or 5 in a row that tell a story.
People throw up a lot of graphs, I guess maybe to make them seem smarter. They have to be the simplest graphs ever. And also think through how you can talk about that graph in a more emotional, inspiring, engaging way.
So your deck should be 6 to 8 slides long with a beginning and a middle and an end. And the slides should be 1 idea backed up with a chart or a big picture or something. And it should hammer home that one thing that you want people to remember from your presentation.
You command the stage and your relationship with the material behind you. So this is meant to support you and drive the message home. And that's it. So give it a really good, solid effort. At some point, hit a wall and just be like, I can't look at this anymore. And just think, this is pretty good.